it's not a bad time too. I always like pattern interrupts whenever they happen, because it's like all that stuff we talked about, like where are we at right now?
It's all in a focus. This is how I can do it. All the first two problems I have conquered, right? And that cut to commercial.
Yep.
It's actually really good.
It's a good test. It's very good. I actually plan those sometimes. It makes you realize that you're capable of doing all that work that we did up to that point in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm energetic. Let's go. Now the problem is, how can I implement this solution? Probably takes 10 minutes when I have a billion other things that take 10 minutes. And if I could put a dollar value on that, it'd be like $5,000 here, or $5,000 here, or $5,000 here, or invest in myself here, or implement this system here. That's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
It's not too much effort. Like, it's not too much effort for me to follow up with the 2 leads that I'm working on for you, and it's like, I could do that, or I can make sure my contractual obligation for this person is done. Things like that. So I have this system, but now, what if everything is a priority? Everything. You're just saying if everything's a priority, it's not a priority, but it's good stuff. So delegating is something I'm trying to work on right now. I think you saw a few emails maybe. But I don't know. It's that voice, the ability to say what you do and you can do it. I know I can do it. It's just I use that voice too much, and now I know I can do it. I want to make sure I can make that stay true in this case.
And you can. It's something that will always be true, and sometimes it'll be like, whoa, I was all other child there, wasn't I? That last 10 minutes, holy shit, I was other child. Oh, my adult back in. Okay, other child, good one, you got through. But I'm back in control now. So we're going to do it this way. And you had your fun, and we'll still continue to have fun as we work together. But I'm not going to let you be in the pilot seat. You can be in the co-pilot, but you're not going to be in the pilot seat. And as you do that, it's just like you don't lose a step. Like all those things get done faster. And it's like when you have your outer child and inner child working for you, it's pretty nice, because then this is a cross-platform now of tools, but you're then accessing your subconscious mind's full power. And that's your flow. That's your, and things get done, as you well know.
Okay. Yeah.
So how do you feel going forward, using this as in the back of your mind as intuition even? You don't have to sit down and okay, you've already done all of this stuff, and it's already been the truth. It's not like it's anything new. Not much was actually done in this call. It's just recapping and reformatting almost what's already being done in a way that's going to allow you to energetically run smoother. Was my goal. I'm not sure. How do you feel on that?
I'm still kind of torn between being able to write down an idea for myself on the spot and then revisiting it later. But it takes 3 seconds to write down an idea that I have that I know is going to be beneficial anyway. And I feel like if I ignore that, I will stop this machine, this inner, lieutenant of mine that just says, I have this idea, let's conquer, right? This is widened. Let's undefended. Let's go. There's like new opportunities here. Like, why aren't you listening? I feel like I might lose that. But sometimes it gets to a point where it is disruptive, where it's like you have a lot of stuff. Like, we literally cannot clone ourselves. What was that?
Do you think your adult is able to manage that? Knowing that there is a balance. It's not like it's a yes no. It's a okay idea. Okay. We'll write that one down, but we're gonna drop it for now.
Oh yes, like that's what I do right now, right?
Perfect.
But
so you can continue that, because that's already been built. It's when it's being a distraction and when it's leading to outer child behavior, so to speak, then it's like important to seek pick up again.
Yeah.
And so that's not a bad thing at all. It's just it's probably a good thing. He's probably had an idea at another time anyway. So, but it is good to get it out, and then but like literally set it aside, like you've been doing. The really true goal here with all of this is to continue to keep you in your best flow state. That is a flow state that's not just like one-dimensional. It's like it's you're able to do your whole life in flow, so to speak.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's really the goal.
So what I kind of see is that when I give permission for like an idea session, right? Like I go get a beer, drink a coffee or something, stimulates the brain. Then I'm like, okay, I have a pen and a notepad here. Take your time, right? I did that last night, right? I sat down and said, I have 10. It's 10 o'clock. Or no, it was like 9, 10 o'clock. And I'm like, guys, let's think about something. We have all this work, and if we do this right, you can get anything you want from the top shelf. What do we do? And I waited, thought about an idea I had in the past about like a beer cozy or something. I'm like, okay, that's an old idea. I'm just starting up the engine, just thinking, but what can you do within our context? And the idea just started flowing. It just started flowing. And I stayed up for the next 5 hours just thinking, writing down notes. I'm like, okay, this is perfect, but this is an inappropriate time. I thought it was just going to be like 30 minutes, and then I'm like, I'll get mentally exhausted and pass out, right? And no, that's not what happens. It just kept going, and every 2 seconds I would I'd get out of bed and be like, that will work. Write that down. I go over, kiss a girlfriend. I'm like, I interrupt her all the time whenever something good happens. I'm like, okay. So I lie back down in bed and, looking up, I'm like, I'm not anxious. I'm not depressed. I'm not like, right. I think that's like borderline manic at that point, but my thoughts aren't like racing. I'm just like, I'm sitting here, trying to sleep right before I pass out, or right before I hit sleep. It's like a Salvador Dali moment where it's like right when you hit the dream state. Then to me, it's like I think of something perfect, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to add this. Take me 4 hours. I can send that to 100 people and say, are you interested in this? Do you want to buy it? And I know that I would probably get enough to pay rent for at least for this month. I'm like, if I do that, it'll take me 4 hours. Like, like done deal.
Yep.
Then I go back to sleep and I wait. But it's inappropriate that that's happening. And that's a problem that I have, or that I've been having lately, because I've been building this good morning routine that flourishes, that promotes ideas. But that's something that is what you're saying, what we agree is an ideal way to handle an idea being managed. It's not like, hey, let's sit down and flesh out a business plan for all this yet. It's just, I'm just writing like a 2, 3, 4 sentences to max on an idea if I do like it. Because I'm sleeping, I will forget. And if it's good, it might come back. It might. But you understand where I'm coming from.
I do.
Yep. So.
Yep. It's when is it conflicting with the boundaries that you have set up for as an adult. And there's going to be times where you're like, you know what? I'm going to stay up past my bedtime because this is just good stuff right now. I'm okay with that. It's up to your adult to make that decision. Like you'll know, and you'll know if it's kind of like, is it something that I'm going to never remember again? Like, I'm a firm believer in like if the mind's been stretched to have the idea, it's been stretched to have that idea. So if it's happening all the time, and if you look at what all of the past ideas have mounted up to, so to speak, and if they aren't all amazing, then it's like maybe all of these ideas that I have right now are amazing, but they are good. Maybe I don't need to waste or based on your energy of saying you didn't like that you did it or you were okay that you did that. that could be kind of ammo to say, you know, I'm going to go to sleep. I can turn them off for now. The pen's going to get them out, the pinnope's going to get them out. I'll be better slept, and my subconscious mind works really well when I sleep. So it's been proven because when I'm about to fall asleep, that's when my ideas come. Well, let's see if we can let them breed as I sleep. That's kind of what happens when you sleep. So and maybe you wake up with an even better one, or the next day you'll come up with a better one because those connections were so much closer because you were able to sleep on them. So it depends on what you want, and I'm guessing you want overall consistency in a schedule and consistency in productivity, finances, all the above, and having a structure is pretty important for that, for your day.
I'm thinking about setting Thursdays to be thinking Thursdays.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. So instead of it being in the night, I just go to the pub at noon with a pad, look weird because I'm not there professionally, and just be like, dude, I'm just here to think, man. And then I'll get thrown out because they probably think I'm a hippie.
Do whatever you think is necessary. I think a lot of people have thinking days that are like CEOs and executives. Almost all of them have a set time where it's just thinking time. So how do you feel going forward as of right now from what you want to take out of this call?
I am, if I could rate this out of 10, I would want to say 100%. This is good stuff.
Okay. Do you think you need any accountability on any of this?
No.
Okay.
I feel like that would burden you, and that would require that I would not be an individual at that point.
Which is good. We do need that, and doesn't mean the accountability is coming from me.
No, I don't. For the context of making sure, I would probably follow up, next time at your convenience, right? Just like whenever you think, just like, how's it going? Remember what we talked about? Are you doing it? Say remember when we talked about the note-taking thing? Are you doing that well? And then I would say yes or no.
Okay.
And that should be it. If it's no, it's just a little blip in my mind that I have to turn that into a yes.
Sounds good. Okay. And you do have a girlfriend. I'm not sure if you ever want to use her for the similar thing.
No, I use her all the time. Oh yeah, no, I use her.
Okay, good. That's what I was getting at. Is a lot how I like to coach too is to not have people need me specifically.
Yeah.
I've really set up other ways. It's important to have your eggs not all in one basket, so to speak, either. No, so it's nice to have eggs spread out.
No. But I am the egg, and I am the basket. I'm the hand that puts the egg in the basket and carries the basket. Why do I have an egg in a basket?
You are now the master.
What?
I'm playing.
But yeah, no, I understand what you mean. There's someone at home, something to keep it myself at least self-regulated, but at least have that external force to make sure I stay regulated and motivated to follow through. That is definitely a thing. I think I should probably just have someone that would just live here with me professionally, crash on the couch. The first thing he does is wake me up and hey, let's go. I'll be your pocket coach for the day, making sure you do what you say you're going to do. I think that would probably be the best bang for my buck, I think.
You have that already. That's your adult.
Thanks. That's what I meant by the pocket coach. It's this pocket, man.
It's you. It's your adult.
Yeah.
It's already capable of doing that.
Yep.
What's the thing that's sleeping and wants to drag its butt is the outer child.
We all have fun. Yeah, we all have fun here.
It is separate, so you can they're separate but integrated. So
yeah, I heard that I heard comparing like an internal system. I almost wrote a paper on this. I wrote it on the finance side instead, but the internal you is like a sovereign state, like a nation. And the way I kind of phrase it is, you will go into debt. Like I wrote a paper on this, but I focus on the money side instead of the behavioral side, but it still fits. I should probably publish it. But if you act like a dictator, you're going to rack up debt, and then everyone's going to be poor, and you're going to declare bankruptcy, emotional bankruptcy, and you're going to waste all your goodwill. If you're a dictator, you tell people authoritatively, this is what you're going to do it or else. And then people are like, fuck. And so you take away things, right, out of the fear, connecting to our last bit, people will do it out of the fear of missing out on the idea of what they love. Right, and for me, if I'm like, if you don't do this, you're not going to play video games for the rest of the week. I'm sorry, do it. It still gets done, but then we're poorer financially. Right. The model is like a full, like a. This is my thesis. The model is the more you take away, the less investment you have. So in the next quarter, you're going to have the next period, you're going to have less to invest with, which is a downhill spiral. You still are bringing a profit to yourself, but you're bankrupting everything else. Tying everything together, I can really resonate with that.
Yeah. You got it. It's already associated with other things, so that's really good. It's nothing new for you.
I think I can probably turn that into a testimonial. 10 seconds of just sitting in awe. 10 seconds of sitting in awe.
Silence is really important, I found.
All right, that's enough emotional breakthroughs for the day. All right.
No problem. Continue. You're in control, man.
Yeah. So, I'm going to end this recording, but I'm going to follow up with you.